I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, a podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Corky Shank.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon. Hooray!
Yeah!
Killed it. Crushed it.
Crushed it.
Low bar for us. We crushed an intro.
Listen, I got that intro out so fast today. I did not curse. I did not have to think too hard about it. It just it finally came off of me like water off a
Duck's
duck.
back? Yeah, there you go.
Like a duck.
All right.
I am a duck now.
You are a duck. You are Rachel Ducky Shank.
Woo-hoo. How you doing, Matt Storm?
I'm doing all right. I'm very excited about our guest, the
Me too.
incredible and prolific kHill. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Michael and I have been internet friends, and it's safe to say real life friends for a while now, and I've suckered him into doing multiple podcast episodes on autographs, so it seemed only like an evolution to get him onto this show as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to chat with you, Michael, a little bit about the new EP and your music and stuff after we, of course, start, as we always do, by talking about what we've seen most recently. As we were wont to do.
Back on our bullshit.
Back on our bullshit. And I saw a movie that I'm convinced no one will care about and will be a brief conversation, but I could be wrong. I went to the theater and paid money to see Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen, I haven't seen it, but I am now very familiar with it because of sitting at Rock Bar in New York, and the bar owner of Rock Bar was
Jason.
gushing about this movie.
Yeah, Jason.
Yes, Jason.
He's a
Shout outs to Jason, friend of this podcast, owner of Rock Bar.
Yeah, it's funny, my spouse and I like our fair share of popcorn action movies. We love the John Wick series. We love, cheesy action movies. And so, when we were deciding to see a coveted, once every few month movie, since we don't get to the movies that much, I floated the thought of seeing Terminator Dark Fate because I heard James Cameron was involved again and Linda Hamilton was in it. And I love the first two movies. And I actually liked the TV show, too, even though not a lot of other people did. And so it's this.
Wait, the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Uh-huh.
I heard really good things about that.
Yeah.
That's all. I
didn't watch it,
I heard
but
it was really good. My brother really liked it. Let me tell you about all the things that all the people that I talk to in my life like. This is this episode now.
But yeah, and so I didn't think she would want to. She's like, yeah, let's go see it. Why not? I was like, oh, sweet. And I'm happy to report it was perfectly fine and a lot of fun. Khill, have you seen the new Terminator?
I have not. I rarely see movies. So I maybe watch 2 movies a month at tops, really, and we never go to the theater because we don't really have a babysitter where we live.
Yeah. I imagine that makes it tougher when you have kids to actually get out to a theater.
Yeah, unless it's something that all of us want to see, which happens, but
right. But yeah, so I saw that, and so I won't spoil it, I guess. The story is pretty predictable, but it was a lot of fun because, well, I liked the cast, and so. Kind of a diatribe, but I still watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Most people have abandoned that show. And one of my favorite seasons, no, there's a point, I promise. One of my favorite seasons of the show, they had Ghost Rider on, played by Gabriel Luna. And it was a different Ghost Rider. It wasn't Johnny Blaze. It was one of the later ones whose name I'm forgetting. And he was phenomenal, and Ghost Rider was phenomenal on it. It was a really good chunk of TV. And so when I heard that this actor was going to play the new essentially T-1000, evil Terminator, I was like, okay, I'm on board. That's enough. To see a badass action actor play a badass sci-fi character, sure, why not? And then when I heard Linda Hamilton had signed back on, I was like, well, this, if nothing else, will be entertaining. And like the story's fairly cookie cutter. Terminator goes back in time to kill someone who's going to change the future, except now it's not Skynet because Skynet got stopped, so now it's something else that I've already forgotten the name of that's essentially just like Skynet but is not Skynet.
It's Cloud Basket.
I mean, it might as well have been. And there's some big twists and turns. I mean, it's no secret that Arnold is in it and reprises his role as a Terminator. It's revealed how and why he's there. But like, I had fun watching it. The action was really good. A lot of it seemed physical and actually practical explosions and stuff, and it wasn't like all digital. And like, there's a section of the movie where Arnold gets to kind of just be charming, and like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a perfect human, but I feel like he's kind of come around a bit. But what I really love about watching him on screen is like, he's genuinely a pretty good actor because he knows his range at this point. He knows his limits, and he knows what he can get away with. And like, there were moments where he was being kind of smarmy and sarcastic, and I was like, I'm into it. Like,
yeah, isn't he living undercover as like the name Jerry?
He has so like
Todd.
It's a very
something.
It's a very general name. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl. It's Carl.
Carl.
It's
yeah,
Carl.
you know,
Nice.
like one of those names.
So he's
you know what I mean?
But yeah, he's a Terminator who's like found a new life as a living, pretending to be a human, helping a single mother and their now teenage son. It's a non-physical relationship. Like, he's just like a father figure, and it was kind of charming and really fun. And like, the action set pieces were a blast.
Again, I feel like I've seen this movie listening to it being told to me by a bar owner. Doesn't like, do they like explode a helicopter or something?
Several, actually.
Several helicopters. I have a question about this. Like,
Sure.
I it's been on my mind since hearing essentially the whole plot explained to me by someone. What happened with the Terminator movies? Like, no one cares about this. And I'm just so fascinated to think about how weird it is that like we're living in this sort of like crazy IP centric machine, you know, and so like literally a machine. Why this IP that's like beloved across time and space is not getting any attention or anything? Like,
Well,
it is being wholly ignored.
There was
Well, it's
one of
not-
those sequels that was just so bad.
Like,
That
have
it-
we just lost faith?
Well,
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's just a thing where they, like, if it had ended at the second movie and then they were just now doing a sequel, I think people would be talking about this. But I think it's just they like diluted their own brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Terminator series. So there were the first two, and then there were 3 other movies
Yeah.
before this one, and the Sarah Connor Chronicles. And though this movie erases the other 3, this pretty much is supposed to take place within the time period and after the second movie. Like, time has passed, but technically none of those events happened. It picks up where Terminator 2 left off with some interesting special effects, and it's fine. Like, I thought story-wise, like, I didn't see, like, for a Terminator movie, the holes weren't super gaping. But yeah, the reason that even though this movie is getting decent reviews and is a fairly fun movie to watch, the reason it's being forgotten, like kHill said, is because the other 3 movies were so awful. And I've seen all of them except Genesis, which was the last one. But I saw Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, which was the only one that took place in the future that they kept talking about.
Is that the one with Christian Bale yelling at a sound
Yes.
guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That one.
Man,
That's-
I made
one.
a song out of his like freak out.
I
around the
remember
time it
that.
happened, and
I remember that.
I don't know what happened to the files, and the only place I had it was MySpace. So when
Oh,
they
no.
wiped MySpace, it disappeared.
Damn.
But yeah, like, it's just not a franchise that's done super well. And so, like, the big deal about this one, and the reason I was interested in seeing it at all, was because not only was Linda Hamilton back, who was like one of the reasons to watch the first two. She was just phenomenal and ridiculous in this character she was playing. But James Cameron was signed back on, which he had not been involved since the second one. And so that was like the big deal. Also, like, any opportunity to go support movies where the main cast is all women for the most part, like, I want to do that. And like my favorite thing that this movie does is there is a scene where the young girl, the cyborg from the future who's come to protect the young girl, and Linda Hamilton are all like riding on a train trying to get across the border, and they're talking, and the girl asks, why me? Why am I important? And Linda Hamilton cuts her off and goes, because you're going to give birth to the savior. And like the big twist that's not a twist is that she's the savior, she's not giving birth to the savior. This young girl is the savior, the general. And like I thought that was really cool. And like people are getting pissed that that's getting spoiled, and I'm like, come on. There's no way they were going to not have 3 female protagonists and not do that. Like, duh. Also, like, it does do some interesting things, like they try and get across the border. They get put in the holding cells in the Border Patrol. And, like, so it does, because the lead, the young female lead is Latina, like, they do something with that dialogue a little bit. Like they do approach it and kind of attack the current state of things a bit, which is good also. But like, I'm also kind of, it's also a little gross how it's used as a set piece. So like, I'm conflicted about it. At the end of the day, I had fun watching it. I think that if anyone liked the first 2 Terminators and wants to see the third one, you don't have to go to the movies at this point. I think you can wait for it to come on whatever platform it's going to be on. I guess Disney Plus, right? Because it's Fox. So eventually all the Terminator movies will be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But
as will all things.
all things eventually at the rate we're going.
Yikes.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. If you like cheesy action movies, it's worth a watch.
Nice.
I dig it. So, any other thoughts about
no, that about
Terminator, the next one,
No.
this one that happened,
the Dark Fate, the darkest
that
of
one,
fates.
you know, one of the ones. You know, Matt, if you had to describe this particular Terminator, Dark Fate, Dark Phoenix, Rise of the Phoenix, I don't know. Fellowship of the Robots.
Running gag. Got it.
Thank you. How would you describe it? I was trying to stall for time so you could think.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
But I already had one on deck. The simplest way to boil this down is shit blows up.
Shit blows up. There it is.
That sounds accurate.
That feels accurate.
I will say my favorite thing about it was the special effects, like the T-1000 kind of effects that they use, like the face morphing and like him turning into liquid and like getting holes blown in him, looked so awesome. And when you think about how impressive T-1000 was at the time it came out, like this was even better. And like that was probably the coolest thing about the whole movie was the special effects for sure.
Cool. I like that.
Nice.
Very neat.
All right, Rachel.
Wait till the couch. That's the verdict.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the verdict. Wait till the couch. But Rachel, what have you watched recently?
Okay, so.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Disney Plus happened,
Oh, no.
and we have been given this incredible backlog of some of the mouse's finest works. You know, like the vault is open, and you can watch so many pieces that like have informed childhoods across this great globe of ours. Pieces of great animation and musical import. Yes, Disney Plus, albeit like logistically and like politically, holy fuck, Disney, what are you doing? But like in terms of the content, like wow, what a lot of great things are now in our lives again for families to enjoy. I watched the 2 Descendants movies.
Oh, I had a preview of this based on your other podcast that I listened to on Monday.
Yes.
So
Which
I'm familiar with the Descendants, by the way. I don't know if
I don't
Michael
know
is.
these. I don't know what these are.
Okay, first of all, they're trash. I love them. So this really sweaty premise is Belle and the Beast get married and assume their rightful royal place. But here's the deal. The universe that this takes place in, all of the other Disney kingdoms, including actual China, actual France, all come together under like one banner. Beast remains the king, Belle is the queen of this place called the United States of Auradon.
Nice.
Okay, so it starts with a fascism. I love it. I'm excited. Let's keep going. So 12 years in the future, this is when our story begins, where Belle and Beast's son, Ben, get ready, the naming conventions for this are phenomenal, is turning 16, and he is attending a school called Auradon Prep, where all of the sons and daughters and children of Disney characters are attending high school. But Ben is turning 16, and it's time for Ben to become the fucking king of Auradon.
At 16.
At 16. Well, it's when Beast became the king, so I guess that's what we do. I guess this is still a monarchy. I hate it. But Ben decides to make his first royal proclamation as king to bring over 4 children of the villains who have been banished to a slum island called the Isle of the Lost. And he says that he wants to bring 4 of them over to attend Auradon Prep and have sort of a chance of redemption, which, you know what, really great idea. You know, like maybe the children of villains shouldn't be kept on the slum prison island. But okay, here we are for like 16 years, whatever. So we meet these 4 lovable misfits. You've got the daughter of Maleficent, Mal. The daughter of the evil queen, Evie. The son of Jafar, Jay.
Oh, God.
And the son of Cruella de Vil, Carlos.
Okay, one of these things is not like the others, but sure.
And what's so strange about this whole thing is it's a musical, and it's not a good musical. Like the songs do not perpetuate the plot at all, and this is just like twice as much in Descendants 2, the second one. Because there's 3 of them.
Oh, God.
I love these, though. I love them. They're so bad. Anyway, so Maleficent sends the kids to go get Fairy Godmother's wand. And in the meantime, while they're, like, plotting and trying to figure out how to get this wand, they meet all these other characters who are the children of famous Disney characters, like Doug, the son of Dopey, and Audrey, the daughter of Aurora. And at one point, Mal gets in the good graces of all of the girls of Auradon Prep by using her spell book to give them hairdos that they like better than the ones they have. And so everybody loves Mal.
Yikes.
And Mal makes a magic potion to make Ben fall in love with her, because it turns out the girlfriend of the king gets to sit next to him at the coronation. Yet another sweaty thing that happens.
Jesus.
Anyway, then there's a second one, and that involves the daughter of Ursula, Uma, the son of Hook, named Harry, and the son of Gaston, named Gil. Gil, who is in Letterkenny, and I cannot believe that that's real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's one of the jock bros in Letterkenny. Anyway, the musical numbers are crap, except for Evil Like Me, which is Kristen Chenoweth as Maleficent, just like fucking owning it. She's in a completely different movie, and I love whatever movie she's in. I want to watch that one, but I also want to watch Descendants 1 and 2 because I love this trash.
So I have a question.
I could keep going forever. I love this so much.
I'm sure you could. I have a question.
I'm so excited.
Had you seen these before they came to Disney Plus?
No.
Okay, so you watched them based on what? Just murmurings you've heard, or just by browsing the platform you saw them and went, what is this trash?
Okay, I was aware of the idea of them, that it was like the children of villains, and kings and queens or princesses of like the Disney universe. And also like the dolls of them are all over the place.
Okay.
But the thing that kind of like pinged it in my head was actually being at a musical theater cabaret that happens in my neighborhood once a month. It's called Actoria, and it was Disney night. So of course I had to go because I love the music of Disney. And one of the performers did the Chenoweth song from the first Descendants, and it was such a fun musical number that I was kind of like, I know that this is gonna be like Disney Channel original movie bad, but I'm in it for just knowing that that exists in it, and it was so bad, and I loved it, and I can't believe how much I love it, and I'm so sad that Descendants 3 isn't available on Disney Plus yet, because I would be watching it right now if I could.
So there is a third one.
There's a third one. It's the only other Disney original trilogy besides Cheetah Girls.
Nice.
Wait, there weren't three High School Musicals?
And High School Musical.
Yeah,
You're right. I was
say.
wrong. Yeah, for sure. There is a third High School Musical, but I just wish that this had the musical numbers be needed or necessary or advance the plot in any way. Even the evil one that Maleficent sings is this like weird. Okay, I feel like explaining this makes it sound like this is so insane. So, in the first act, the kids break into this museum where all these like old artifacts are, including Fairy Godmother's wand, which
Right.
is what Maleficent wants to break the curse on the Isle of the Lost. But also in this museum are a bunch of wax figures of the villain's parents. So Maleficent, Evil Queen, Jafar, and they're just in this room. And Mal is alone in this room of wax figures and has this hallucination fever dream where this wax figure comes to life, sings this musical number with her, and then, like, it's over, and we're, like, back in reality. Even the best musical number is so unnecessary in this show. And they love spelling things, too. You've got, in the first one, like, the song My Love for You's Ridiculous, and they proceed to spell ridiculous.
Of course they do.
And then in the second one, it's like, you gotta be wicked, and they spell wicked as well. They love spelling and using dance to spell the words with their bodies.
Nice.
I love this movie series.
Wow.
Anyway, that's it.
I mean, I have nothing to add to that. I assume
The
Michael
villain
doesn't
kids
either.
want to be good.
Wasn't there a
and they wanna
TV show that
stay
had a
good.
really? Wasn't there like a TV show that had a really similar premise a year or two ago?
Oh, maybe.
That was sort of also rooted, I guess, in. It was definitely.
Oh,
based
yes,
on
you're
that.
thinking of the show on ABC, Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like, it's like that, except they aren't in our reality, and everything, like, magic is still real, and it's teens, and the villains wear a lot of pleather.
Yeah, I remember watching like part of the first season of Once Upon a Time, and then, like, spoiler for like the third episode, they kill the huntsman, and I'm like, well, I liked him. I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
But I remember
I never saw
watching
any of the show. I remember it being
Yeah.
a thing that the guy that wrote. Oh man, those comics with Snow White and the
Oh,
Big Bad Wolf.
I know what you're talking about. Fables?
I remember them being
Fables?
I remember the dude that made Fables being mad about the show because they were making they were like pitching a Fables show, and then they
Yeah.
basically like did a Fables show that wasn't Fables at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time.
And
on a
then they
different
start
network.
and then once ABC was like fully consumed by Disney, they started throwing Disney characters in there like Merida and
Yeah.
Mulan. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
And didn't they do an entire, like, arc that was Frozen after
Yes.
Frozen came out?
Right
I
after
will
Frozen
say,
came out.
Season 1 of Once Upon a Time, great. Don't watch any of the other ones. Just like because like it's a complete story
Right.
with like this lovely ending, and you're good. And then after that, it's like, now the spoilers, the curse is broken, and we get to go back to Disneyland in the other realm and meet all these kooky characters. I
Nice.
hated it. After
Fair.
the first season, it sucked because the first season was all of these fairy tale characters don't remember who they are.
Right.
And they just like live in this small town. It rules. It's
yeah.
very good.
So, Rachel Quirky Shank,
Yes.
if you have nothing of value to add to your discussion about the Descendants,
I mean, I could talk for hours about the first 2 Descendants movies.
be that as it may, how would you describe Descendants 1 and 2, I guess, in 3 words?
I mean, the character of Uma just like sings a song, and the whole premise is say my name, and all of the other villains are like Uma, Uma, and then they like do it's insane. It's utterly insane. If I describe it in 3 words, because like I could use all of the words that have ever been created to describe this piece.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Okay, hold on. Amazing fucking trash.
There we go.
Nice.
There you go. I
Right.
think that's the first time we've used a curse word.
I think
Because like
so.
I don't really need the third one because it's just
Right.
like amazing trash. But like it's amazing fucking trash. And I want trash to be in all caps because that's the most important because this is trash and I love it.
By the way, kHill, just so you know, it doesn't have to be a sentence, though we often do sentences, just so when you get to your wrap-up. Well, that was educational, Rachel. Thank you
Nice.
for that.
Was it? I feel like it's the end of that Billy Madison speech and we're all dumber for having heard the words that I just said.
But now we should focus to our incredible guest, Michael kHill. Michael kHill, what is the most recent thing you have watched that you have brought to our show?
The most recent, I believe, is we watched Nightmare Before Christmas off of Disney
Ooh.
Plus.
Nice.
Disney Plus, I tell ya.
Off of Disney Plus. We've been watching a lot of the Pixar shorts, the originals they made. I have, with my phone service, I got a year of free Disney Plus. So,
Oh, nice.
So like, I was like, oh yeah, for free, I will definitely take that in. There's a lot of great stuff on Disney Plus. Obviously, there's tons of stuff I haven't watched since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas, I think I have like completely memorized. At some
Amazing.
point, my daughter was like, "You know the words to these songs really well," because I was just singing along with the whole movie. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it probably 200 times in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So
Yeah, I've watched it a bunch too. That's definitely one of my favorite Disney movies. Although it didn't occur to me until very recently that Danny Elfman was the singing voice for Jack Skellington. Like
Yeah.
I never put that together when I was younger.
he was the singing voice, but the other guy did the speaking parts. Which I
Yeah.
always thought was weird since it sounds seamless. You
Yeah,
don't
like
notice
I
at
would
all.
never tell. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a super great film. I feel like everybody's probably seen it at this point. I think
Oh yeah.
I've seen other people say a lot of interesting things about it. I don't know how much insightful stuff I really have. It is interesting in the way it's like a movie about somebody like completely leaving their lane and trying to take over somebody else's shit entirely and thinking
Yeah.
they can do it better and then completely screwing it up. But
I mean, I was
it
just
is,
going to say, you could say it's a lesson in appropriation a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think that was like I made the tweet while we were watching it. It was like a scathing take on cultural appropriation. But yeah, that movie's great. Me and my wife actually like one of the songs we danced to at our wedding was the song Jack and Sally sing on the hill at the
Aw.
end. And eventually, if we ever release our covers album, it'll be on there probably.
Aw,
Oh,
I
that's-
love that.
that's
It-
awesome.
Well, it's simply meant to be.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we did the we actually had Jack and Sally champagne flutes at my wedding too.
Oh, that's
Aw,
awesome.
I love that.
That's so cute.
We
Um,
did our
Adorable.
we did our wedding.
I love that movie. And right now is the perfect time to watch it.
Oh yeah,
Because
it
like
was,
we're still like in semi-spooky November, getting into like semi-spooky Christmas.
yeah.
You know, just like boom, here it is.
Yeah. And we love Disney stuff in general, I guess.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
my wife's favorite movie is definitely Little Mermaid, and we did our honeymoon. We did like 10 days at Disney World
I
and
love
stuff.
that.
So, yeah, they're bad in a myriad of ways, but they also like created a lot of really
Yeah.
important art.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure.
Do you have a favorite song from Nightmare Before Christmas? I know that's a tough choice because all the songs are great.
Probably this is Halloween, honestly, or
Yeah.
what is this? Maybe.
Yeah.
I had a double disc. They did a re-release of the soundtrack back in like when I worked at a record store around the year 2000, I guess. They had a deluxe version of the soundtrack come out on CD, and the second disc had a bunch of covers on it, and you can still get a similar compilation of music, but it's different covers now.
Yeah.
Than what came out.
Nightmare Revisited. Yeah. I have it.
But the original one had Fiona Apple doing Sally's song, and it had Fall Out Boy doing What Is This, and their version of What Is This is amazing. It's like,
oh yeah, I remember that.
It's very Queen-esque.
Yeah.
Definitely shows off that influence, and they fucking nail it. It's so good.
Yeah, the only song that was on both versions was Marilyn Manson's "This Is Halloween." I think. I think that was on both, but yeah, everything else I believe is completely different.
Yeah, I think the original one had two different "This Is Halloweens" too, though.
Probably,
if I remember correctly, because I think there were some songs that had more than one
cover
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff.
Flyleaf did What's This on the second version.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like bringing back
now
a
I'm on Spotify. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, what is still here? Fucking the plain white tees doing Poor Jack. I hate this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my mode for right now. I'm like, this is trash. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Also, Korn did a cover of the Santa Claus song, "Kidnap the Santa Claus." And like I used to be obsessed with Korn, and so like when I heard that they had done that cover, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect! This is amazing."
Somebody has to have done like Oogie Boogie's song.
Yeah, I don't think it's on that. Like, I don't think that version has a cover of Oogie Boogie's song, but someone must have covered it for the other one.
Yeah.
The Oogie Boogie song on this particular playlist that I'm looking at is Rodrigo y Gabriela.
Oh, yeah, they did like this weird kind of instrumental version, I think, on that record or something.
And see, here's the thing. Like, Disney knows how to do musicals, like, that like, can be both really great bops that you want to listen to a bunch and also like do really good story work. Like Nightmare is a really good example of that, and it makes me sad that not to bring it back to Descendants, I'm so sorry that Descendants was just like, we're just gonna make these pop songs and just stick them in the middle of this show, you know, because like there could have been just something so much more, you know. It's like they can't really get it to on TV, at least, together with songs that are like really good hardcore bops and also are good musical numbers. Yeah. But like Nightmare gets it. Like I would just listen to Nightmare just on its own. Like it's a vibe. It's an aesthetic. It's like a feeling.
I have the soundtrack on vinyl and just play it sometimes. It's like a picture disc. I wish it was just regular black vinyl. I know eventually it's going to wear out because picture discs are terrible, but it looks really cool.
Yeah,
at least it's on double vinyl, so it's not like crammed onto really tiny grooves or anything.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered sampling Nightmare Before Christmas in a song?
Oh, yeah. I definitely have. My friend Jesse Dangerously and Liz Grove did a version for their project, Danger Grove. That was they did a remake of Oogie Boogie's song that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I've thought about doing this, like sampling This Is Halloween. I've heard somebody do it before, but if I remember correctly, it was terrible. So I wouldn't feel bad about sampling that one. But yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. It's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of obvious, I guess, or it's something people are going to recognize immediately for sure. So
yeah,
becomes tricky.
and I mean, we'll talk about this more later, but you've never shied away from sampling and doing covers of stuff, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Michael Kill, do you have 3 words that you would use to sum up the legend that is Nightmare Before Christmas.
And you cannot use Nightmare Before or Christmas.
Right. That's cheating.
That would have been a really solid answer. Cultural appropriation bad.
Cultural
Yes.
appropriation bad.
Good.
It is.
It is. That's
Don't
true.
you dare. Listen, you have to respectfully come to a culture.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, you have to like come in and just go like full Socrates. I know nothing. I don't want you to do emotional labor, but I want to learn, you know, like every time I think about Nightmare Before Christmas though, I feel so terrible because like Vine has been dead for like a million years, but I always think about that one Vine of the one guy going, the fuck is in the air, the fuck, there's white shit everywhere, the fuck, and it's amazing.
Nice.
Nice. That's amazing. Well, Mikal kHill, I'm really excited to have you on the show because I know you're no stranger to sampling stuff from TV and film on your music, and I want to praise you on the air, although I've probably done this before, for one of my favorite samples you've ever done was when you rapped over the BoJack Horseman theme song.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Yes, that was fun. I actually did this project for a little while where I was taking my original songs and I was just rapping them over instrumentals that were not hip-hop instrumentals of stuff that I liked a lot. So I did a song called Summertime Sadness, which is in and of itself a Lana Del Rey reference. But
Yeah.
it was off of my album Snuggle Is Real. And then I'm obsessed with BoJack Horseman.
I
It's
mean,
an
I get
amazing
it.
show.
I love that show.
And I love the intro theme. And I thought the vibe of it kind of fit like what I was saying in the song. So that was one of the ones I flipped. I had to actually, for that project, I tried not to manipulate the music. I tried to just straight up like rap over it. But I actually did have to chop that one because there's one part of the music where it doesn't loop the same number of times in the beat, and you don't really notice it when you're just listening to it. But whenever you're trying to like actually put words over it, it's really weird.
Huh.
But yeah, I did a lot of stuff for that project. That was the only TV show I think I used for that. I did rap over the soundtrack to the Smash Brothers game for Wii U.
I remember that.
I rapped over a Sleater
That's
Kinney song.
amazing.
It was a Sleater Kinney song, and I had an instrumental version of a Black Sabbath song that I did. Did a Taylor Swift song.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I did a lot of Del Rey song.
You did. Well, yeah, you're not shy about liking pop music, which I love. As
Yeah.
a person who also loves pop music, like I love the fact that you're an incredible rapper and a great producer, but you're also like some of this like popcorn and candy cane pop music is fun to listen to and fun
Yeah.
to interact with.
Well, something I think I realized when I was really young, I think I was like really pretentious about music in general, and like probably as an artist in some ways, I probably still am. But like, I don't know. Even whenever I like avant-garde music, I really like pop sensibility and pop structure. Even the stuff I was listening to in the '90s that was like noisy and weird was still basically pop music at its core. So I just sort of realized at some point it's like, oh, like even this like noisy weird stuff I like is still really just pop, and all music is just manipulated noise. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like, what kind of noise do you want to hear right now?
Yodeling.
Yeah, right?
Here's an important question. This is a discussion that I was actually having today. How long do you think that you could listen to yodeling just like uninterrupted?
My grandma used to have this 45 called "Everyone Loves to Yodel,"
Amazing.
and it was yodeling on both sides, and I used to listen to it a lot and drive my mom
I love
crazy. And I think that 45 was it. Both sides of that 45 is as long as I can.
And then you're just like, I'm done. Thank you. I'm good. Hooray.
That's
I think I
great.
could make it about half an hour of just listening to yodeling. Because, like, I think the first 10 minutes is just like, I can't believe our gross human bodies can make this sound. It's so crazy. And then the next 10 minutes would just be like, I can't believe our gross human bodies make this sound. It might be the grossest thing that's ever happened.
It's
And the
like-
last 10 minutes, like, you'd come around to it again. You'd be like, no, this is actually really skilled. And you are an artist. And this is high art. Thank you, yodeling. Twitch.
It's kind of like the like bagpipes of human singing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
That's amazing. Someone please, like, Stitch that on a pillow.
Right? Put that on
It's
something.
important.
Michael, I wanted to ask, because it's no secret that you sample stuff and like you've done stuff relating to TV and movies. Like, of course, very recently I was listening to you on the MC Lars podcast as of when we're recording, and you brought up your Brown Coats mixtape, which was one of the earliest things of yours I had heard. When you watch and consume pop culture stuff, does that make you want to write music about it, or can you separate that?
I sort of can't. I can't. It's something that actually has made it difficult to enjoy certain art that I can't turn off in my brain analyzing the score in anything, in movies or TV shows or anything. So I'm kind of always thinking in those terms, even though I realistically don't sample most things I hear, even that I think I could. I just can't stop thinking of it that way. It's kind of like whenever I was in the 90s, I got really into like a lot of like indie films and stuff. And just like, I remember even watching like Evil Dead, I would like analyze every shot and think about how they had like, filmed this shot. And then you spend, an hour reframing the scene and filming from another angle and editing that together into a continuous thing. And that impacts my ability to enjoy the art in some ways.
Sure.
But also makes me appreciate more sometimes, especially for like low budget things. So yeah, I kind of am always thinking about that, but it kind of sucks in a way because and it's not just movies and TV shows. It's even like I really like instrumental music, and I do like jazz and stuff like that, even though I'm not like an avid jazz guy. I can't answer questions about jazz I like or anything. But like whenever I try to listen to that kind of music or like prog rock or post rock type stuff, I can't stop thinking about like, well, this would be a really good beat if I did this. So it makes it hard to like consume certain types of art without like starting to think of them as potential, tools for building things out of.
I really get that, especially like back in my burlesque days. Just like anytime I'd watch something, I'm like, I could make an act of that. I could make an act. And now like that I've stepped away from that, I still do it in the back of my head, like more like, oh, that would be an easy cosplay to make happen. Like, let's just make some craft foam armor. It's perfect. It's anime. I love it. But yeah, it's sometimes really difficult to like turn off that side of you that wants to like take and reform art that's already out there. So like it's nice to hear that one is not alone in that struggle of like, I just want to enjoy this. I don't want to think about all of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's even like that with like whenever I'm playing like a really narrative video game, like I'll hear like a line of dialogue and I'm like, oh, that'd be a great interlude for something, So.
Don't play Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Man.
It's all loopable.
Oh yeah,
because I've heard many of them on loop now. It's just
me
that
and
thanks a bunch at the market. I could just like play that again and again, and then just be like, here's a rap about commerce.
Yeah, me and my daughter both have been playing Three Houses pretty much nonstop for months.
Nice.
The last Fire Emblem game I never finished, but I played it like well past 300 hours because I would just play it doing the like random battles you can do between things.
Yeah.
I just did it endlessly on Game Boy, and I've been doing a little bit of that one, but I've got to the point my characters are so overpowered, like they can't die. So like I'm one-shotting the bosses and stuff. Like the first time I beat them, like met the Death Knight and one-shotted him the first time I encountered him.
Oh wow,
it's too much. Like because I just love the game so much, and always make. And I did this with the last Game Boy one too. Was like I make this mini game for myself out of trying to like max out every single relationship between every single character.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I loved the new Fire Emblem, and I'd never played any of the others, but I kept hearing so many good things about them in the past, and the new one got such universal praise, like across the board, like Breath of the Wild style. I was like, all right, I have to play this game. And of course, like many bisexuals my age, I fell in love with Claude and began to rage at the internet that he's straight because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Listen, there's a hack out there for your Switch that
Is
can
there?
unlock all of the S-class ranks, and it is a legitimate possibility that
Yeah,
we're
but I
going to
don't-
hack one of our Switches because we're just a bunch of gay babies over here who are just like, we want to kiss everybody.
Right.
Thank you very much.
But
It's weird that some of them are our students, but we want to kiss them anyway.
But
At
in all
least they
ser-
made the students the same age as you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
I mean, I
But-
guess it's still weird, but it's not as
still
weird as it
real
could
weird.
be.
Yeah. But like also
We're trying to unlock the pacifist run in Fire
nice.
Emblem. We just battled. We're doing Crimson Rose right now.
Nice.
And we just got to Claude and Hilda, and we spent so much time avoiding Hilda so we could pardon Claude. And it was just like, oh, we're doing Undertale right now.
It's
It's
amazing.
happening.
Nice.
Yeah, I really love the game. I haven't played any of the. I only played the one path. I haven't gone back yet. But like, I think what made that game for me was how well voice acted it was. Even though a lot of the cutscenes were pretty static, the fact
Yeah.
that they did put so much effort into all of the VO is kind of
yeah.
insane.
That's sort of the thing. I think it's been the thing with Fire Emblem for a while. I mean, the characters are well written too. They're conceived in such a way
Yeah.
Yeah.
where, like, you know, like Bernadetta is a great example. Like, the more you like get to know her, the more her story opens up as being super horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But like, there's like when you initially meet her, it like you don't anticipate that depth at all, so it just like kicks you in the face when it comes out.
Oh yeah, and the fact that like so much can change based on the choices that you are making as the character.
Yeah.
Because we're on our second run. We're gonna hit Blue Lions next, but there's like one spoilers for Fire Emblem if everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Where you can actually recruit Yuritsa, the Death Knight, in
Oh,
your Crimson Rose run. You can recruit him.
Nice.
And if you recruit him and you recruit, I think it's Mercedes,
Mhm.
very soft-spoken, light hair.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
The only time you can have those siblings have a reunion is if you're playing the Crimson Rose run and you recruit Mercedes. Because otherwise, like, she'll be on Blue Lions and, like, you can't recruit Yuritsa any other way. And so they have this beautiful scene where
Nice.
it's just, like, this, like, reconciliation and forget. It's crazy. There's so much game in that game. I
Yeah.
cannot believe how much game they put
It's
in
crazy.
that game.
Oh yeah, it's super good, and it definitely there's just a ton of replayability in
Yeah.
it. Like I did the first run, I didn't side with Heidelberg, and now my second playthrough I'm doing Golden Lions, but it's been or Golden Deer, sorry,
Right.
but it's really good, and it
Yeah.
like. I was worried like it's gonna be a slog to get back through the first couple months, and it wasn't. Like,
No. You just
especially-
get sucked right back in.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
the way the New Game Plus stuff works is
Yeah.
really good. So you can roll over some of your progress.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a phenomenal game. But to steer us back towards
Anyway, this is a podcast about movies and TV.
well, I mean, video games are on a screen, right? Like, you know,
That's
Yeah.
true.
if I didn't
It's
already
true.
have two other video game podcasts, I would talk about video games more here. But anyway,
Yeah,
Anyway.
the main thing I've been doing for entertainment is Red Dead 2 for like months and months and months and months and months.
of course. Well, that game is like 1,000 hours, so like you'll be
Yeah.
playing it forever.
Yeah,
I do want to give you an opportunity to plug and talk about Terminal, which is your new 4-song EP.
yes.
Because if I recall correctly, this is it covers some sensitive subjects because you recently hit the 1 year mark
It's
of
2
being-
years. Actually,
2 years
Yeah,
of,
so
of your cancer diagnosis and procedure.
yeah.
So I'm curious a little bit about the process of writing this record, especially since like you're doing the vocals. The beats are by DJ Payne. They're not by you, which you do a lot of the beats for your own stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious about like what kind of inspired you to put this record together, and was it easier or harder to do it with someone else's beats?
So I started working. So before I started working on this project, I was working on a lot of. I was actually trying to make kind of a pop record, and I was working on some stuff with Liz Grove from Danger Grove, and I was working on and Cecil from Autocorrect was producing some stuff for me, and some of it I was playing a lot of instruments on and stuff. But it wasn't really a rap record, and it was kind of experimental in some ways and stuff, and it was a lot of singing compared to what I normally do. But I don't know, since I got cancer, there's been this whole thing over the course of my recovery or whatever, where my style of not style of writing, but my process for writing has really changed. Mm-hmm. The way that my brain creates the words is different now. It's actually really weird because my process to write now is really similar to my friend Tribe One. And as a result, also, it has become really painstaking and long, slow process for me to write songs a lot of times lately, because I've started writing more in the way he does, and it's become really hard for me to write like quite as spontaneously as I used to. Because most of my earlier stuff was all written like really, really fast. Like every song on Snuggle Is Real and on Human Disaster, those two albums, which are my best work, really, as far as albums go. But all the songs on those were written in like 30 minutes a piece, like at the most. Mm-hmm. I spent a lot of time on the music on that record, but the like words came like super fast. So this is like a new thing for me to have to like really sit and work on a song. Like there's a love song on the EP that I wrote about my wife, and it took me like 2 months of writing that song. And I mean, to be fair, part of that was that I was trying to keep her from hearing it. So living together, it's hard to find like moments where they're not gonna walk in the room while you're like writing this song for them or whatever. But but the EP covers a lot of stuff like that. Like it's covering a lot of like stuff leading all the way from my childhood, growing up super poor, and then struggles I had through that, and then into my adulthood and talking about my wife and my kids and my experiences even working as like a person in IT and information security. So it covers a lot of ground for me. And a big thing with the beat stuff, it wasn't really hard to write to those beats or someone else's beats. If anything, it's like easier in some ways. Because whenever you're writing to your own stuff, it can be like, I don't know, it's sort of like, I've already heard this like 500 times while I was creating this beat. Right. When you hear like a new instrumental somebody else gives you, it's like, it's totally fresh in your mind when you can start with the words. So it kind of makes it easier to write to in some ways, because you don't have lingering preconceived notions from creating the instrumental to deal with before you can get to work on the words. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I like about the new EP so much is that it's different from your other stuff, but not different in the way other things are different, if that makes sense. Like BG Keane, which has no business being as good as it is, which is your surf rock record version of your stuff, which is just it like, I think I was talking to Tom Manhart about this not that long ago, was like, it irritates me how great it is because I just never saw it coming.
Some of the stuff on that beach record I actually like better than the original songs, honestly. Yeah, it's really incredible. And so that was very different, but that's clearly you're going for a specific thing, right? And you've done some more punk rock stuff and some more acoustic stuff, but Terminal just feels really different in a different way from all that other stuff. It feels more dynamic in a way that I think some of your other stuff hasn't felt, which is just really interesting to me, that you've it's just like another evolution. Yeah, I think like a big thing with the beats that I picked from DJ Payne 1 were like stuff that was very, very much like the sound of kind of like what Just Blaze had, or even I guess early Kanye as a producer, from around like the early 2000s. I was like a huge fan of Jay-Z's album The Blueprint, and I think sometimes people are like really surprised that Jay-Z's like such a big influence on me as a rapper. But he is like a big influence on my rapping and stuff. So I kind of wanted to I don't know. So much of my stuff is rooted almost in like 1993, as a specific year. So this is like more like a record that's rooted more in like, it's still old, but like 2001. But at least I'm like slightly modernizing my sound, I guess. The stuff I was working on, that'll still come out at some point before I finish Terminal. I was working on a project of stuff that was like really modern compared to a lot of my other stuff. So I think like it was kind of like meeting in the middle between this like weird super modern stuff I was working on currently and the more old school hip hop type stuff that had come before it in my earlier work or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that all makes sense. And so do you know when that next is the next thing you're working on a full record? Is it another EP?
I haven't really decided yet. So there's there's multiple projects that I'm working on right now. And I did actually talk about some of this on Lars's podcast, but we talked for like 2 hours. and he cut out a lot of it because he had to make it like short enough for people to actually sit through. But so I'm working on a No Friends record, and No Friends used to include Adam Warrock. He's now retired, but No Friends' current lineup is me, Tribe One, Ant 80 from Dualcore, Sulfur, who's also from the Thought Criminals, and Cecil Nick from Autocorrect, which is like an avant-garde like hip-hop and noise group from South Carolina, and pop group, I guess.
Cool.
So we're working on a big project that's like a group project with all of those vocalists, and we've been working on that for about a year, like off and on. Ant 80 from Dualcore lives in Brazil half the year now, so it has made writing more difficult for us to find schedules. But I'm also working on a Westworld mixtape with Ant 80, and we already have, I think we already have like 4 or 5 songs finished for that.
Oh, nice.
Hoping to have that done before season 3 comes out. And then we're also working on an album together that's just like old school type hip hop, and that's a group called the Troubleshooters that me and him comprise. And then I'm also working on a group with a project with my live band that did the Beach record with me. Slappy plays keys, and she's the main vocalist for this project, though. And I'm doing drums and bass, and my guitarist is playing like synthesizers with a MIDI controller on his guitar.
Oh, wow.
And it's definitely like us doing our take on Portishead kind of type stuff.
Nice.
And I'm going to rap on it a little, but the rapping is going to take a back seat to her vocals on a lot of it. So I don't know when that's going to come out, but that project's called Mutual Assurance. And I'm really excited about that project. That was one that we've got a bunch of instrumentals together, and we've got a couple of songs finished with words. It's just a matter of like getting it all recorded. So I don't really know which one will be next, though. And
just be ready for all of them.
Yeah,
right.
It'll be.
I'm not gonna lie. You said all of these things, and I was like, wow, I do 2 podcasts, and I'm so tired. I can't believe that you like do all of these projects and like have a family and
produce
like,
other people's records too.
And produce other people's records. Like, I can't, like, my mind has melted just contemplating all of that.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a podcast myself.
Yeah,
should.
Everybody should do a podcast.
Totally.
Yeah, add that in
Listen,
too.
Yeah, there you go.
If you need any ideas, I'm apparently a progenitor god of podcasts.
Nice.
Because 2 podcasts have now been born since the year I started doing podcasts that are based on dumb shit that I've said on air.
So
I can't believe it.
I actually recorded a bunch of episodes of a podcast that I never released. And the idea that I've had for a while for a podcast is to interview my friends that are artists.
Yeah.
But not talk about the art at all. Like
talk about anything else.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
the 2 things I want to talk about in it are 3 things, I guess. Business deals and business deals that have gone awry that have amusing stories around them, and experiences on tour and at shows. Like
Amazing.
That's like the big things I want to talk about. And also I want to ask everybody like what their morning routine is. Like
Interesting. That's really
those are the
interesting.
3 things I want to cover.
That's awesome. I mean, that's wholly unique. I've not heard that before.
Well,
I love that idea.
the main podcast I've ever listened to a lot, and to be fair, I haven't listened to it in a long time, so I don't even know if he's still doing it. But Todd Barry, the stand-up comic, has an amazing podcast where all he interviews is other stand-up comics and comedians who are actors also. But he never talks to them about like the art per se. Like he'll talk about it in like vague ways where he'll be like, "Oh, I was doing a show and I had to," and this show, other people on the bill were doing extremely blue humor, which is like bawdy humor or whatever.
Right.
Like they'll make references like that, but they don't talk about like their process for sitting down and creating art or whatever. It's all like stories about like touring and stuff. And I loved that podcast because it was all the stories they told reminded me of just talking to my friends that rap, that tour, about experiences they've had with different venues and different, venues trying to screw them over, venues that treated them great. I love that kind of interaction, like a lot. So I always thought it was really cool, and I've always wanted to hear something like that, but for music. So
That's awesome. Well,
I love it.
Maybe I'll get it off the
I'm
ground.
into it. I've subscribed already.
Yeah,
It's done. You haven't even put it
Done.
out there. I'm your first listener.
Nice.
I love podcasts, though. Like,
Yeah.
I just love
I
them.
listen
They're
to
my
too many.
favorite.
See,
I have 4 shows and I listen to way too many of them.
I live 2 minutes from my office, so I don't have a commute at all. So
Dang.
like, I don't really have a time to listen to them, and I can't sit down and listen to podcasts or audiobooks or anything like that because I get too distracted too easily.
Yeah. You're also so busy, like, making a million things. So, like, let's be real. Like, if I listened to less podcasts, maybe I would have time to like, make one video ever. Maybe. You are goals now for me.
Yeah.
Michael Kill, you are goals.
Well, I just like, I don't know. I think I'm like, even before I got cancer, I'm sort of like, this is kind of morbid, but I'm just like motivated by like the lingering specter of death in my future. I feel like I have like all this shit I want to say and do, and I don't want to die before it's all done. So like I'm constantly working on stuff so that I don't die not finishing something I wanted to do before it's done. So that, I don't know, that is the great motivator for me in my art is like, I have a lot of shit I want to say before I die, and you don't know when that's coming. So,
I mean, it's whatever gets you going, right? At the end of the day, it's whatever gets you moving.
Yeah. But also, I'm like a workaholic, and I feel literal guilt when I'm not working on something.
Same. Like for me, like I have 4 podcasts. I Twitch stream. I DJ. I do all. I host blast shows. Like I do all this nonsense, and yet when I sit down to play Pokemon for an hour, after I've played it, I'm like, ugh, what a waste of space. I didn't do anything. I just caught Pokemon, and I guilt myself for sitting and playing video games, and it's driving me nuts. And so I'm actually starting to try and force myself. And part of streaming more regularly has also been like, well, at least I'll play video games and while doing a thing, and maybe my brain will chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I actually have started Twitch streaming me playing Red Dead on PC. That I started doing that. I don't really have anybody watching it yet, but it's just like an excuse to get myself to play for an hour or 2.
Sure. Well, you also have an installed fan base. So I feel like if you tweet it out that you're streaming, folks will tune in probably.
Yeah, it'll start picking up. It just I quit playing it for like a week because there were so many bugs, but they finally patched everything out, I think, in the last week, so I'll probably start doing it again soon.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Michael Kill, thank you for being on the show. This has been a
thank you
blast.
guys for having me. Thank you.
We have one final question for you.
Okay.
Yes.
But before we do that, we have some folks to thank.
Yes, we do. I would like to say thank you so much to John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Rimble.
I would like to thank Katie Bug for our incredible show logo. Thank you for designing it and drawing it.
Beautiful. I love it.
You can.
We are on the Certain Point of View podcast network. Thank you for not firing us yet another week.
We're still on this
appreciate it.
network. They still keep us around.
I don't know. After how much I talked about the first 2 Descendants movies, I think this is our last one. 'Cause, like,
They don't listen to us. They
the
don't care.
the costumes in that movie are so bad and so good. The color schemes. Like, why does Mel's leather jacket have a peplum on it? What are we doing? It's awful. I love it.
If you want to interact with Rachel more about the Descendants, you can join our Discord server.
Please do.
There's a permanent
I'm so
link.
lonely.
There's a permanent link to certainpov.com. When you go to our website, at the top of the page, you can click on the link to get our Discord. Michael Kill also has a Discord, which he shares on his social media. You can join that if you want to chat to Michael Kill about the music he makes or other nerdy
love
shit
that.
that he talks about.
Indeed.
I think that's it. That's all our thank yous and
Yeah.
our shout outs.
If there's someone else who needs us to thank them, thank you.
Yeah,
we
thank you.
appreciate you
Yeah,
so much.
You're all
I can't-
amazing.
You are my everything. Random stranger who just needs to be thanked today. Thank you for being you. I'm Mr. Rogers. Anyway, Michael Kill.
Yes.
This is our final question, and then we will set you free to your myriad of projects and wonderful family. If you could choose any one, like, film or television trope to be true in your life, what trope would you choose?
Oh, I don't know.
I know it's a tough one. Putting you on the spot.
Give me an example.
So you know how when you're watching a movie and 2 characters are on the telephone and then they just hang up without saying goodbye? Like, people do that for sort of like expediency because, like, you only have like 90 to 120 minutes, but like it happens so much that it's just like kind of a thing now. It's kind of a trope. Or the nerdy girl takes her glasses off and she's so pretty now. That's also a trope.
I guess I would pick the trope where people who start out decent to you but then become awful have this moment where they realize they've been awful and learn from the whole
Ooh.
experience.
I love that. I got really nervous in the middle where it was like, and then they're just shitty to you forever. And it's just like, oh no, that's a terrible thing to watch. I like that.
That's
Like
good.
that sort of like, I was not great. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
That
end-
final
like the end of-
moment in
yeah.
every episode of Full House.
Yes,
The last 5 minutes of every episode of Full House.
where they
Yeah.
have a moral and they realize
They're
they've
like,
been
oh, I've been
terrible.
an asshole the whole time. What have I done?
everybody gets a breakthrough in Michael Kill's world. I love it.
That would be
Amazing.
good.
That's good. We could use that in life right now, I feel.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Self-reflection, babies. Come on.
Again, thank you, Michael Kill, for
Thank you, Michael.
joining us. Real quick, where can people find you on the internet to check out your stuff?
The easiest way to find me on the internet is just to go to my website. It is howcouldyoudotthis2.me, and that will take you to. You can get to my Facebook, my Twitter, everything from there.
You've killed my co-host. I forgot that was the URL for your site. That's amazing.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm fine. It's fine.
That's good.
Whatever.
That was good. How could you do this to .me?
Literally, how could you, Michael Kill, do this to .me with this goddamn website name?
Oh, that's good. That's great.
But that's got all my links everywhere. It's also got. I need to update it, but it's got a breakdown of my albums because I have so much material. There's a little list of like where to start with my music. It also has a direct link to a master playlist of all the music I have on Spotify from all my different projects.
Very cool.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
all there.
Yeah, I'll tell you. If you need to start with one song, it's called "The Moon," and you'll
Yeah.
thank me. You'll
Oh
thank
my.
It's a song that Kill raps about being like grateful for all the things that he has and how he's had a hard time, and it's over the moon theme from the DuckTales NES game. It's
Yes.
a perfect song.
Wow. I have slept on too much of Michael Kill's work. I'm gonna get off here and I'm just gonna get on it.
Do it.
There's so
real.
much. There's a lot of my stuff.
Rachel Quirky,
Rachel Quirky, thank you.
Yes,
That's me.
exactly. That's where I was
mean,
going.
you know what?
Nice save.
Thanksgiving is upon us. I'm Rachel Quirky.
Thanks.
Thanksgiving.
There you go. Excellent.
There it is. I'm here for the bits.
Rachel, thank you for being my co-host.
Matt, thank you for being my co-host.
Listeners, thank you for listening.
Being our co-listeners.
Exactly. Like, subscribe, all that nonsense, and we will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Holler.